Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome this Monday afternoon here I'm in Wexford and I am speaking to people in Limerick because we're going to talk about the Limerick IT Summit, which is happening this week. So I want to welcome Andrew, Michelle, and Christopher. Christopher is the CEO of Web Dev Builders. Andrew is the CEO of Data Storage and Management and of uh, what's the name of the company again? It's gone. There you see. Brain fog. Brain fog is real. It's real. And then we have Michelle, who is the event director for Limerick IT Summit. So, Andrew, apologies. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sam, thanks for doing this again. This is, I know, the brain fog, right? So data storage and management, you had it right, by the way, and then you second guessed yourself.
It's one thing.
Yeah, I know. So we're a Limerick-based company, 26 years in existence. I'm here just over a year, and really happy to be part of the team that are bringing the IT Summit to Limerick and the Midwest. So yeah, but you know, I'll let the others speak.
So, Michelle, you're the event organizer and you do a lot of other stuff as well. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I suppose, yeah, no, I am, and I'm delighted to be involved with the team with Limerick IT Summit. Yeah, I suppose my background is I was a journalist, particularly a business journalist, and then I worked in PR, marketing, social media, etc. And I'm from Limerick originally, so came out to Limerick in 2010, and kind of I've been working with either corporates or with SMEs since. So I've either been in a corporate role where I'm working with those in the pharma and medtech and robotics industries, or I also organize events, and I actually love organizing events. It's a passion of mine. I'm involved in the Wild Geese Festival here in Limerick, which happens every July, have been for the last 3-4 years. And I also am a member of Network Ireland Limerick as well, which is, of course, part of the Network Ireland area. I'm the PRO here in Limerick, and so we organise events on a monthly basis for that. And yeah, I just love organising our parties. So it was great to work with the guys here and to come in, I suppose, as event director. A lot, like I've organized events, I suppose, from 2 people to 2,000 people, and across 4 continents. So it's great, but it's lovely to work in Limerick. And the great thing about this event is that it's so community based, in that there's probably over about 50 different SMEs and other companies involved at this stage, and it's really for businesses by businesses, and I think that's really important. We have great speakers coming in who have a great understanding of the economic and business outlook here in Limerick. And we have Michelle Gallagher, for example, from the Chamber. We have John Moore, and of course, Mayor of Limerick, directly elected Mayor of Limerick as well. But more than that, we have panels that have lots and lots of businesses who are on the ground working all the time, working in the digitalization space. We also have academics who are looking at trends, looking at AI, future proofing, cybersecurity, as Andrew does in DSM, looking at, that digitalization and that movement forward, that, another industrial revolution leap that we're currently a part of, all of us. So yeah, it's brilliant, and we're delighted to put it together. Delighted to have some wonderful sponsors on board as well, not least of which is Dell, who are hosting us on Thursday at their facility.
Wonderful, yes. And when I heard about it first, I was like, "Isn't that a great idea?" So I know Chris, it was your idea. Tell us, why did you decide to do the Limerick IT Summit?
Well, my company, Web Dev Builders Limited, the company that I'm part of, what we do is we build software and websites. And very often I get calls from people that have had a terrible journey building their website or their software. And what it always comes down to is they didn't know the tech talent that's in their area. So this really became a collaborative event. The idea behind it was to have a collaborative event where tech SMEs could showcase to the local SME market what they can do and what they can offer the local SME market.
Well done, first of all, because I think it's brilliant. I'm always saying, if you can't find what you're looking for, create it yourself. So that's what you've done. And also, it's very community based, as you say, as well. And I know that you have a charity involved. Do you want to speak a little bit about that? Maybe, Michelle, do you want to talk about the charity?
Yep, our charity, which was again another great idea that Chris had from the very, very beginning, from the get-go. And it's a Limerick Mental Health Association. And they're a wonderful charity. They do great work raising the profile of mental health issues and, organising events, organising classes, organising ongoing, help for the people of Limerick City and County. And actually advocating as well. There's a great advocacy group, raising these profiles at government level as well. So the way that we've worked it is that we set it up. It's actually free to attend. People can make a donation, however, on the Eventbrite, and all of that and any profits that we get from the event will go to Limerick Mental Health Association. And I know it's something that's very close to a lot of people's hearts in this area.
Well, even to my heart. I mean, I'm in sobriety 16 years, so it's I know all about it. I see it every day, And Andrew, I know yourself. It's something you'd be passionate about too. But how did you get involved, Andrew, in this event?
So Chris and I had a conversation, and he had floated the idea of Limerick really needs something along this line, and roll forward probably another 5 or 6 weeks, and Chris had started to kind of put an outline together, and he said, look, I'd like DSM to be involved for two reasons. One, we help organizations in terms of digitization. So we manage records and that, right, and the landscape of physical records and shifting to digital twins. And that's what we do. And then secondly, what really resonated was we as a company are going through a digital transformation ourselves in terms of how we operate on our own infrastructure and so on. So I said, this really is a no-brainer. The region really needs it. And I thought, if you've got a business-led community bringing something for the business, why would you not? So for me, it was a no-brainer just to bring it forward. There was one caveat. When Chris and I spoke first, I said, Chris, the only real caveat I have is that we bring Michelle on to kind of be the quarterback, because I've never created an event, and neither did Chris. And I think, Chris, it's fair to say, right, best decision we made.
Yeah, I think so. I'm used to making terrible decisions, but I think Michelle is definitely the best one we made. And it was
You're very
interesting.
kind.
It was interesting
very
because
kind.
even before Andrew had mentioned Michelle, I had sat down to speak to her about the event. So we were on the same page, as we have been for the whole event, actually.
That's all about bringing in people who have the expertise to make it less stressful for you if you're organizing an event. And I do events myself, and it's about getting people in who have the expertise. Like, I have someone doing the Instagram and the Twitter, for example, because I don't have the time. So this is a really good point. Even if anyone learns anything from this chat, is like, bring in people who are better at doing the stuff that you're not so great at. So well done, definitely. And I know, Andrew, you're doing a lot yourself as well on LinkedIn and social media. So what kind of topics can people expect at the event that you feel?
There's loads. I mean, it's jam packed. We've like over 20 on stage throughout the day, including your good self, Sam, right? So what you can expect is it's really taking folks through a journey, right? And it's educational, it's insightful, and it's intended to be building that collaborative spirit, right? Bringing companies together to learn from each other, right? So while there will be knowledge and expertise on stage from business leaders, from specialists in different elements of digitalization and academia and research, but it is a story that will be told through the day in terms of how you get started if you're really at the beginning. How do you future-proof your business if you're kind of on that journey already, and what's coming next then in terms of emerging technologies and what's ahead of us. So there's a lot there, and it'll span all areas of business in terms of the strategy development, in terms of change and change management, and keeping humans in the loop as we deal with digital and more digital and digital AI and everything else in between. So there's a wide gambit of things that will be chatted about. And equally, I think what's also important to say is, while there is a heavy agenda on the stage, right, Michelle has been like, doing
Yes.
wizard-like stuff, right, to get this agenda to work. We do have probably 30 companies that will be there and will exhibit as well, right? So it's beyond what's happening on
Yeah.
the stage. It's the ability to engage with companies and build collaborations and get insights and get education, not just from the stage, but from everyone that's attending. So I think there'll be quite a lot happening on the day. And yeah, I can see you've put up the agenda there for the day, right? With
On the ball here, on the ball. Yeah, so it kicks off at 9:30. So should people arrive earlier than that, or what's happening?
No, I think 9:30 you'll be in plenty of time to come in. There is one thing you could do if you're coming along before you arrive. On our website, which you have kindly put on the banner down there, limerickitsummit.ie, there is a digital assessment. And we will be sending that out on Eventbrite as well to everyone who's registered the day before. And that is something that you could do beforehand. So when you come in, you kind of know who you need to talk to. It's about streaming people into getting the most out of their day and getting the most out of the journey on the day. So we have a number of personas, which is all, it was actually all the idea of Chris. And we also, just to note that we have a committee as well. I say committee because it's an all catch phrase, but essentially they're called as specialists. And these are all SMEs who are specialists in their own area. They will be there on the day. We actually have a specialist lounge. You can go and have a chat with them. They'll be around offering their expertise. They are the first panel as well, so you'll see them speaking on the first panel. And they are like people like Laurence Garrick, she's a lean agile a specialist. We have Padraig Dowdall, Martin Iverson, he's crisis management in the IT space, and Cian McCarthy from McCarthy Analytics. So, lots of people who are doing different things. And so the room, as Andrew said, there'll be 30 different companies around the room who are doing almost everything in the IT space. So the key thing is to remember that, it's not really about coming and knowing everything, but it's about having the opportunity to talk to others and to learn that everybody's on this journey. We're all learning, no matter what part of the spectrum we're on as well. And that, if, I know, Sam, you're speaking as well, and you're going to talk a little bit about LinkedIn and how to use it for your business, which is really good. We have a wonderful speaker that Chris found as well called Angafa. He is a blacksmith, and it's really interesting. His story is he's based in Meath, but he's going to be speaking as well. And it's like blacksmith to digital maven. He's really, really active online, very savvy operator with his business, moving something that's such a traditional business into the online space. Amazing. And then we have Dell. We have huge companies that are like UL. We have a speaker, Dr. Lubna Dirani there, and she is like one of the world experts on, cybersecurity and trends and emerging technologies, as is Liam Brown from TOOS and Liam Cronin from RDI Hub as well. So, and we also have Anthony Quigney, who is the head of the Dell Customer Solutions Centre there in Limerick, but he is actually a world expert, a global expert on, security and global command setup. And so really, really excellent speakers. I think no matter who you are and what business you're in, you'll get something out of this. And that is the main aim of the day, really.
And the networking alone, and it's free. It's free, except, and then we encourage people to make a donation. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. And all the companies that are there have paid towards it. So that goes to the cost of the events, and also any profit that we have left over will go to the charity as well. So we're trying to maximize what we can. But it's for small businesses by small businesses, and I think that's really key. And we have some speakers from some large businesses who can show us the tips and tricks and the things that they do and the expertise that they have as well. So I think there's a lot there, and the networking opportunity as well. It's lovely to get everyone together. I think it's probably going to be the largest IT event in the Midwest this year so far, unless something else is
I think
organised.
there's over 200 people already registered, I believe.
Yeah, we're up on almost 300 now when you think about all the different people who are involved from different aspects. And as I said, we've more than 30 different companies showcasing there on the day as well. So,
But
that's
I think as
great.
well, Michelle, right? What's interesting is when Chris and I spoke originally, like an event of this size, in Dell's house, like let's be honest, like Dell are, they're a global brand. They're one of the biggest IT companies in the world, and they're a big employer in Limerick and have a long association with Limerick. So I think it's fair to say, Chris, right, that originally we felt like this would be kind of a smaller event, and it's a little bit bigger than we might have originally hoped. But I think it's fantastic.
That's never a bad thing.
No,
It's
absolutely.
never a bad thing. Yeah,
It
agreed.
does help to get Limerick on the map, and I think what's brilliant as well, what's really come out in spades, as we say, is the community in Limerick, and the support for this has just been fantastic. In particular, in the last few weeks, as that kind of snowball, and it builds and builds and builds to what we hope will be a fantastic crescendo on Thursday. But the community in Limerick coming together, and the appetite for something like this is fantastic to see. Certainly in terms of my own observation, and I don't see everything. Michelle sees more, and Chris sees other aspects as well, right? But there's a huge appetite.
And Chris,
Yeah.
how does it make you feel then? It must make you feel quite proud, I suppose, the fact that, this is your baby originally in your head. So I see Evelyn is going to be there. Love the event is geared for SMEs by small to medium businesses. And then Padraig says, can't wait to get started. So Chris, tell me, for you, and obviously this is a great opportunity for people to know about you, and they might not have known about you, and they might not have known that they could get a website and all that stuff, all that digital stuff done locally. And how do you feel about it? Are you proud?
Yeah, it's very proud to be part of something. I'm very proud to be part of something like this. And one of the reasons, actually, I joke about it quite a bit, but one of the reasons I picked Limerick Mental Health Association as the charity partner is because I didn't know if I was crazy for running the event. If people would sign up to it, and maybe I'd need their services afterwards, And
Yeah.
I might still do with all the stress, but but no, it's a very serious charity, and it's well needed. But yeah, I mean, it's amazing to be part of something, this big, because it really has blown up, and the collaboration between companies. I mean, we have quite a few sponsors now, and you know, if you look at them, they're all tech companies, and people that are in the actual digitalization area, but you wouldn't necessarily think that they're in the digitalization area. For
Yes.
example, DGD shredding, which is an important part people don't consider. When you digitalize your hard copy data, what do you do with that hard copy data? Do you store it in a facility like DSM, or do you use DDG shredding's capabilities and get the data shredded? And it's all questions that you can kind of ask yourself, and that'll be answered on the day, and pointed out, because it's these little questions that SMEs don't ask, and then when they need the data, they go, okay, well, or when they need to get rid of the data, or etc., they go, well, we should have looked at that when we started the journey.
And do you also mentioned, are there stands at the event as well? I know that I will be there with my social media fest hat on at the event as well. So it'd be lovely to meet people. I'm not from Limerick. You're probably all going, why is she on this? Well, my daughter goes to college in Moyleash in TUS. So I do have a Limerick connection. So but for people, any stands that of interest that are going to be there as well, Michelle?
I think we're going to see some really interesting stands, like, for example, from companies like Workflow who are active, Treaty Software, who have been actually involved from nearly the very beginning as well. Great Limerick-based company, and this is their software development arm as well, which is great. We also see Talos Data Consulting, a lot of data and analytics. I mentioned Cian McCarthy and McCarthy Analytics as well earlier. We also have an MC on the day, Karen Papin, and Karen is coming from Point Zero in Galway. But Karen is just larger than life. She has been art director, looked after all of our branding and so on. She has been absolutely amazing. And I think that's something that people don't necessarily think of as well. That, okay, I'm going to get a website, it's going to be built brilliantly, but what's it going to look like? Who's going to help me with that? So we have Karen, with Point Zero. We also have Blink Design. I know that Denise O'Brien, I'm not sure if you know Denise, but she is, she's going to be there as well. And then we also have, other sponsors like Incorporo. We have, and without sponsors, things don't happen. You know yourself when you're organizing events.
Absolutely.
Things are expensive, so you want to make sure that you're going to cover those costs, and especially if you're offering those tickets, to the public, which we were trying to do. We were trying to absolutely subsidize them. So we really appreciate all of our sponsors for coming on board and what they've brought to the table. Not just the financial support, but also, that they're going to be bringing their offering, their expertise, and be available there as well, which is great.
It's lovely. It's lovely to keep it in the local kind of community, if you're going to be sending business to each other. And that's great that Michelle is there from the chamber, like that. It's so important to know. Like I'm in a building here in Wexford in the Enterprise Centre, and sometimes you don't know who's in the office next door, what exactly they do, so it's really nice. That's a really nice part.
Yeah. And as Andrew said, we've had such support, particularly from the chamber. I know Michael McCurtain in the Skillnet in the Chamber in Limerick is going to be there as well, showing the skills and upskilling that people can take through the chamber there. And also, like, it's just been such a positive experience, I have to say. You meet people and they go, "Are you involved in that? Oh my God, that's amazing! It looks great. I'm looking forward to going." And it's been an absolute pleasure, I'll be honest, to work with the guys, because they're visionary leaders, both of them, Chris and Andrew.
Innovators, trailblazers.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is always inspiring to see that. But also, they both have people at the heart of what they do. They both are people, and it's so lovely to see such great leadership and community mindedness and civic mindedness in Ireland today. I know the world is probably not in the state that we all would prefer at the moment. There's a lot going on, but it's great to see something locally based, that people are helping each other, and that there is loads of help out there. It's great.
Well, I'm just thinking, my November social media fest, it might end up in Limerick at this rate,
no problem.
A tech.
We'd love to have it here, Sam.
We would.
It's a huge appetite.
People who appreciate what you do as well, and I think there's a lot of people who are coming along and they're like, "Oh yeah, I've seen people checking in with you, saying, listen, I'll be there in the day. I'll see you then," which is great.
Yeah, it's
and we're often an underserved area as well. Chris made an absolutely wonderful point recently. One of our main supporters is John Moran, our mayor. As we said, he'll be along on the day. But we were talking to him recently, and Chris made an absolutely really, really good point. He said, "I'm tired of going to Dublin to events. I'm tired of going to Dublin to tech conferences, or London, or New York, or Frankfurt. We have such amazing talent. We're really on the edge, or the cutting edge of technology here in Ireland. And here in Limerick, I would say, in the Midwest as well. So, it's wonderful to be able to do this locally, have local people involved, and know that the content and topics are on par with anything you would see anywhere else. And that comes from me, from 20 years of experience of attending, both as a journalist and as a marketer, events all over Europe and beyond, so it's
brilliant. Well done, everybody. Chris, did you want to add anything before we wrap up?
Well, I just wanted to say, like, we always get the opportunity to go up to Dublin for events, etc. So it's about time that they get to see a different scenario and and different environment. And I'm sure they'd appreciate a day out of the city, etc. Tech companies. So we welcome them down to the Limerick IT Summit if they wanted to
Absolutely.
attend.
And we know we have some coming already on the day. So I hope it'll grow, and it'll be a place where we have a social element to it as well, where we'll be able to, we'll have so many people coming down, we'll have to put on a social calendar and organize other events as well, which would be great.
Well,
I think that's a key point as well, Michelle, right? Just in terms of this year being the inaugural event is themed around building out your digitalization toolkit. But the aim here is that A, we have a successful event. B, there's lots of talk and buzz and hype about it afterwards, that there's an appetite for more, and then that it would become an annual event. And each year that it will deal with a different theme in the IT space, right? So I know there's a comment up about this being an important milestone and laying a foundation. And I think, one of Chris's early thoughts on this was, yes, it would be a themed event each year, and it would run and build and grow. And I think we're off to a really good start for this year.
yeah, well done. And you know what? It's all about people, so even folks, it's worth coming along for the networking. Like, I'll be there, Michelle, you'll get to meet Andrew and Michelle, and you get to meet Chris, but all these other wonderful speakers who are coming along. Patricia will be there, and I know Padraig and Evelyn. So it's a chance for you to meet the people that you're engaged with on LinkedIn online, and meet them in person as well. So I'm really looking forward to meeting everybody. I'm looking forward to sharing my LinkedIn networking. There's some kind of networking part to this as well. So Michelle, do you want to give a little taste of what that's going to be like?
Yeah, we're going to have a networking piece at the start of the second half of the event, really, and it's just going to get a chance to get everyone to get up out of their seats. We don't want everyone sitting down feeling like
You don't have to dance or anything. Don't worry.
No dancing at all. We'll get them up. We have a networking area, and there's going to be a little bit of something very simple where people kind of move around the room, and you change who you talk to every 2 minutes. So by the end of it, you should kind of have talked to about 10 or 12 other people that perhaps you mightn't otherwise have met and network with. And we're going to encourage people to go out and meet people they don't know, and to reach out to them, and also to reach out on LinkedIn as well. So my advice for people coming along is bring plenty of business cards, or if you're like me and you have a virtual business card on your phone, make sure it's all geared up and you've charged up your phone. And then, make sure that you connect with people on LinkedIn as well. I think one of the great things about events in Ireland particularly is you kind of, after an event, you go away and you always have people who reach out and you reach out to them. And I think that's lovely. And that we're all working in the same space. We're all helping each other. It's great. It's one of the unique things about business in Ireland is it's a great support net as well,
Well done. Okay, well, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to heading down to Limerick now. I will see you all there. Thank you so much to the people who put comments in. And if everybody if anyone wants to share this, folks, or tag anybody in the comments that might be interested in coming along, we look forward to seeing. I think we're nearly at capacity. So please, if you are interested, go to limericksummit.ie and register there as soon as you can. And hopefully we'll see you all there. Thank you.
Look forward to it. See you
Thanks
Thursday.
very much.
Thank you, Samantha.
Thanks, Sam.
Bye, everybody.
See you soon.